Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 28 of my top 30 favorite title tracks of all time. Yes, indeed. We're counting down as best as we can. It's hard to kind of rank these songs, right? But doing the best we can. Counting down our favorite title tracks of all time. There's a million of them. So many great title tracks. And, of course, certain bands have more than one really great title track. In some cases, they've got 4, 5, 6 or more great title tracks. This band today is a perfect example of that. I was sitting there looking through their catalog and thinking, all right, so we have those 4 that, of course, I knew I was going to pick. And then I'm like, oh, there's a 5th, and there's a 6th, and there's a 7th, and there's an 8th, because they're one of these bands, well, they were one of these bands, who they released an album, whatever the name of the album was, there generally was a title track on the album for a song for that title, right? But I'm only going to pick 4. Like I said, I'm going to try and limit this. If I do have one of these instances, I'm going to leave it at 4 max, 3 or 4 max. I'm not just going to name every single title track because it kind of takes away from the greatness of the original ones that you would pick, right? So that's the case today. So the band that I'm going to pick today that has 4 amazing, amazing title tracks that they did pretty early on in their career. Going to start it going to 1979. They have 2 albums that came out in 1979, 2 really great title tracks. The first one, though, is the best for me. That is Overkill by Motörhead. That's right. 1979, their second album, and it's a great one. It's a really, really great one. Of course, it was released on March 3rd, 1979 on Bronze Records. Amazing to think that they released 2 killer albums in the same year, but that's what a lot of these bands did back then. Jimmy Miller producing, right? Of course, Fast Eddie Clarke, Lemmy Kilminster, and Filthy Animal Taylor on drums. Of course, Phil Taylor. Amazing. How about that double bass drum blast to open things up, right? Then Lemmy comes in, and then Fast Eddie comes in with the, driving his hands up the neck of that guitar, and the assault of Overkill begins. I think I've told this story many, many times. The first real band I ever saw live was Motörhead opening up for Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz at the Manhattan Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, New York, all the way back in 1981. And I'll never forget, because I had not listened to Motörhead before seeing them, and I remember just the assault of, you see here, I'm going to tell you can see this, but you see the picture of Lemmy right there, with the microphone coming down, and him. I was right in front of him, and that was him the whole time. And I remember specifically hearing Motörhead, or hearing Overkill, and thinking, this is loud as shit. This is the most extreme heavy music I've ever heard so far in my 15 years on the earth at the time. But I really like this. And I remember going out, to the record store not that long afterwards and seeing this sitting in the import section and like, oh, that's the band I just saw. Yeah. And seeing this album cover and like buying the import and like being blown away by the title track right off the bat. It's just so good. Absolutely amazing. But there's more. Wait, there's more. My other pick for today, because again, I told you I got 4 of them for you. Let's fast forward just a couple of months, right? Because that's how Motörhead did it back in the day. They released, especially early on, actually throughout their whole career, they were pretty busy for the most part. And we've got the next album, October 12th, 1979, called Bomber. Hell yeah, right? Also produced by Jimmy Miller, Bronze Records. And this song is very different from Overkill, but it's no less... Well, Overkill is the cream of the crop for me, but Bomber is so cool. That riff at the beginning, it's a little more bluesy, right? A little more kind of Motörhead boogie, but very, very cool. And the title, and it's just so much fun. It's so upbeat, and the riffing from Fast Eddie is just amazing on this song. And again, the chorus is great. It's a really, really great song on another really fantastic album. But of course, we're not done with Motörhead yet because, of course, so this was 1979 for both of these. We know right around the corner, about a year later, I think that was almost a year to the date, I think. Let's see, October 12th. Yeah, almost a year to the date, we get, of course, Ace of Spades, which for many people might be their greatest title track. It's either this or it's Overkill. Ace of Spades is fast and furious. It's one of the great. Motörhead never considered themselves a heavy metal band, but it's an amazing heavy metal anthem. It's one of the greats of all time. Maybe for some people a little played out because, if you're a metalhead, we've all heard Ace of Spades a million times, but it's so good on a Fast and Furious album that was also released on Bronze Records and produced by Vic Maley, right? So, but yeah, Ace of Spades, so good. And I can't not mention, because I love it, the album sometimes gets a little bit of flack as being not kind of up to par with the three that I just talked about, but I'm going to go with Iron Fist. I think the title track to Iron Fist is amazing, and it's one of the great Motörhead songs from this early part of the catalog. Of course, this would be produced by Fast Eddie Clarke, released on Bronze Records, April 1982. Eddie would leave the band after this, of course, go on to form Fastway, who we just talked about and ranked their albums recently. But, Devil's Grip, the Iron Fist, I mean, the rumbling bass and guitar on this is just so good. I always love this song. Again, you can say that the album itself, maybe not quite as strong as the three that came before it. I would probably agree with that. But I think the title track is great, and it kicks off the album, right? Kicks off the album, last song on the album, and kicks off the album. Very interesting how that worked out, right? Usually speaking, a lot of these bands will pick that title track to kick off an album to announce, this is the name of the album, here's your title track, get into it, please, right? Or get into it, I dare you. Or get into it, I'm going to force you to get into it because this title track is so damn good. So, and the funny thing is, I started looking, and I was like, I almost pulled it because, Another Perfect Day is really damn good. Right? And I'm thinking you got Orgasmatron, you got all these other albums that have great title tracks. And I'm like, all right, I could literally sit here and name most of the Motörhead catalog. So I'm just going to just keep with the four, right? So we've got Iron Fist, we've got Ace of Spades, Bomber, and of course the great Overkill. Overkill is in most of these cases, there's always going to be one that's going to kind of stand out for me amongst the three or four that I'm going to pick from that one band, because we're going to keep it all in one episode. Overkill is that song, but all other three are just absolutely amazing. So, yeah, and we're going to have more of these. We're going to have more days this month where it's going to be a band with multiple picks just because there's just such greatness there. And like I said, if I decided to go whole hog with Motörhead, all of a sudden, all their title tracks take up 6-7 days out of the 30. Can't really have that. Sabbath and Purple and all these other bands that have really good title tracks just, decided not to do that. So we're going to lump them all in one episode. But I think tomorrow we've got a single song coming at you. I believe so. So we'll see you then, right? So let us know what you think of these Motörhead title tracks, these great songs, down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today and why you love them. I mean, why do we love this stuff? It's Motörhead. It's Motörhead. Motörhead is grungy, dirty, heavy, raucous. Yeah. Grimy. As Karen Leprezio says, dirty, grimy, right? Yeah, that's Motörhead. We love them for it. So, but list your pick down below, and we'll see you tomorrow for pick number 27. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to all the things you can do to help out the channel. We got our Ko-Fi page, we got our merch page, we got the Cameo page for personalized videos, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options all filtering down below. You can go click and catch and do whatever you like. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. What do we got coming up on the channel? We've got the Professor's Picks on Friday. Come see what Ken Gold and I have in store for you. New releases for this week in the genres of prog and fusion and power metal and progressive metal. That's all happening on Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got the UK Connection coming up on Saturday. Very fun show. We've already recorded it, so that is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. It's ranking the songs on a classic album. That classic album is ELO, Electric Light Orchestra's A New World Record. So tune in on Saturday for that. We've also got coming up, on Friday. Sorry, I moved away from Friday. We got 4 Fusion Friday happening this week as well. So we're going to be taking a look at 4 very cool albums from the very prolific Japanese fusion guitar player, Kazume Watanabe, right? So that's coming up. 4 excellent albums. Very hard to rank these. And then in the George's Pick is another Kazumi-related album, right? So we got 5 albums to talk about from Kazumi Watanabe. Tune in on Friday evening for that. Like I mentioned, Saturday UK Connection. And Sunday I will be ranking the albums of Obsession. Very cool U.S. metal band from the 80s into the early 90s, featuring Mike Viscera on vocals, who also will go on to sing for Yngwie Malmsteen and Loudness. And I will be doing that alongside John Gaffney, Rich Catino, and Joe DiBiase. So come watch us rank these albums of Obsession on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you'll get other stuff this week as well. So tune in for all of it. And we'll see you then. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.